Successful ascension to all mirages, watching this imagery of what can happen if you're not financially being aware of what you're spending and or being aware of what you're giving up. And a lot of times too, cause and effect, because many people don't really understand that being nasty is the little things that do matter in life that cause people to go back to working a 9 to 5 job. Because when a lot of people are making a certain amount each month, they forget why they got to where they were. And that's when they lose themselves in the process to where the effect of their actions is why they go back to being in humility again. That's really simply how I see it. So the people who are complaining or even bashing 9 to 5 working, you will always go back to that because the moment you think as if somebody's beneath where you are, that's when eventually, if you don't play your simulation correctly, if you don't play the game right, one wrong move and you're back to square one. And this is where people are messing up. So let's get right into it.
Y'all see that video of that girl
Also, shout out to the creator as well. I thought as if it would be an interesting perspective to see, and let's get right into it.
asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke and e-begging on TikTok? Like, what happened to all that money? So, as somebody who accumulated over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube back in 2015, and I was literally living in LA, so I witnessed
We got to understand as well. Over here, we do not discriminate. We don't have any transphobia, any homophobia. We don't bash anybody just of what they're experiencing. Many people cannot control their inversion as far as their gender or just their sexual identity. It doesn't really matter. But these things have to matter in society. A lot of times, the people that you may see as far as videos, you don't know now in society if it's for one AI or two, if this is a man playing as a woman. And you got to understand, majority of people get these amount of followers because behind closed doors, they're selling out, and eventually the system will not want to milk off of you anymore. They don't want to use your image because you can't do anything for them anymore because you're not being yourself. You weren't doing what you were doing to get to where you are. So then eventually they had to go back to being who they are, to where now they're going crazy and sacrificing their morals to where you end up sacrificing a family member, you end up getting bug broken, you end up breaking somebody else's back. And it's just really crazy to where you're going against your spirit. And that's exactly why many influencers aren't telling the truth about who they are because they're secretly still practicing these occultic practices to where they're getting above society by knowing more of what to do to lose your way instead of being in their way of experiencing the present moment of what does not matter as far as through the internet.
a lot of this. I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on what happened with that money. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but just what I've seen. When I moved out there, I thought I was pushing it with my $2,000 one bedroom apartment, but I had people living in the same building, just at the top floor. I was on the third floor, but they were at the top floor paying $20,000 a month. And then I had some friends that lived in mansions just for the sole purpose of wanting to be able to throw parties and have people come over and make content in there. Literally paying people's yearly salaries, like $30,000, $40,000 a month just to rent this huge house. So for those of you that were also wondering, like, why do a lot of these influencers have big houses but they're fucking empty? Not even joking, to get some good quality furniture in there, it's gonna cost you like $500,000. And don't even get me started on their Uber ego. It's like people reach a certain amount of followers and all of a sudden they can't use Uber X. Ew, we can't pull up to this party in a Prius. Order an Uber Black. Why would we spend $250 to pull up to a party when we could spend $19.99? Half the cars that you see these people whipping around are rentals and they're spending like $300, $500 a day just to whip it around and try to act like they're somebody they're not. Baby,
Yeah.
Yeah, just like in Miami, Cali. Cali is home of the fake. And I don't mean
Hey, and what's crazy? I got a video for y'all as well when I was in Cali because I relate to this. And we're not gonna make like we're not gonna count for the camera. I'm gonna show you right now. So this was in 2019 when I was in Hollywood. I want you to hear what I say. This is how I knew I was asleep. You feel me? So by me pointing at that, I didn't think much of it. But that's when I knew like I didn't know how fake the imagery was being. And so when me being in Hollywood, being able to see houses and taking videos, taking pictures and all that, even same shit in GTA. Thank God. Mount Chiliad, Hollywood, right there. City in the distance. LA. Being in that, just being in the environment of Los Angeles, the energy is beyond just dense. It's condescending. It makes you feel less than if you can't even keep up. So even before 2020, before the world went into chaotic normalcy that we see today, before the inversion is enhanced from what we see now, it was as if you could feel the shift already being amongst the future, even back then. So it was just really weird being in that environment, even being just on top and just seeing the houses, seeing the mansions. The traffic was just awful, seeing the Staples Center, but just the people as well. They were keeping up with the keep up, and the keep up couldn't even keep up with what they're keeping up with, and the keeping up with is still keeping up with a boss that they'll never become because they're not willing to do this to get there. So people are just climbing this corporate ladder of what they think really matters. And the whole entire time, what they have on does not matter. Who they want to be does not matter because you're flexing for validation. And that's not even your being. That's when they lose themselves and you can feel the energy even just oozing out on the street, just walking on Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, I already told y'all, in Hollywood, if you walk there, you will see the homeless literally right by different establishments and restaurants and just different famous, let's say, places or buildings or structures or monuments. They're right there, camped out or asleep. And it's just like, damn, we're walking past all these people that are supposed to have the things that we have, and we just overlook them because we're so fixated on what doesn't matter outside of us. We lose the mission in the process by doing that. That's exactly why everything that happens to us is meant to be because we ignore the truth that's sleeping right next to us as we walk by it.
If you're from there and you live in there, I'm talking about it's a lot of people faking their lifestyle. A lot of the influencers are not who you think they are. They don't got it like you think they got it. Rentals, Turo, right? A lot of them pulling up in Turos, renting Turos every day. It take money, man. $500 a day, that adds up, right? But you got to look good. You got to keep up an image, is what they say. They have to keep up their image. And some of them are spending every single dollar that they make to keep up an image, to paint a picture that they're more successful than they are. Driving around in Lamborghinis to sell a course or sell a program. Let's talk about them too, because they're influencers as well. The YouTubers too. The ones doing the gold digger pranks. They gotta pay for them rentals. Some
Especially the ones who doing vlogs and the ones who are doing the car channels or whatnot. It's a lot of times these people have to switch, like they can't even enjoy the cars that they buy or they're renting out temporarily because they're just doing it for the views, they're doing it for the attention to maintain that rent. Because if they stop doing that, then they're not going to get the amount that they really should be comfortable in, but they don't want to be in that comfortability. They always want more. So they're trying to fill this void up because they can't sit with themselves outside of gaining more currency.
of them own them, but some of them rent them. Some of them rent those cars to be able to do their content. This is a known fact.
Just because you hit 200K doesn't mean you need to go and get a C300 for Mercedes. Like, it's okay. You can drive your paid off Toyota. Maybe 1 out of 10 of my friends actually cooked their meals at home. Everybody was constantly going out to eat or hiring private chefs. When you start making all this money, a lot of people tend to forget that it might stop one day. So they're still going on these expensive vacations, buying all this designer, even if it's starting to dwindle. As they live.
And that's when you lose. When you start doing that, you going on vacation and you know it's going to cost you, you already lost the game. You trying to play a keep up. Nope. It's okay to be home and still work on you. You may have it like that financially, but nobody has to know. It's okay to be home so you're able to save up. Then you can go travel. Then you can go ahead and appreciate yourself and make a video, record, do all that. But don't sit there and flex on somebody who's working to get to where you are. That's where you fuck up. And people are very nasty and deceitful online because a lot of times I notice because like traveling from experience, a lot of people I notice, like when I travel and when people travel as well, they're doing it to get back at somebody and they can never enjoy what's in front of them. Whenever I'm posting, it's like me going to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Jamaica, Bahamas, me going to like different states, going to California, Texas, South Dakota, New York, shit, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, or Kansas, New Mexico. So me traveling, being able, even Louisiana, but me being able to see these different things, I post a song or I just post the experience where I can look back and really see where I was in that time frame to where I want to be able to learn what I overcame as far as a challenge to see if I'm still doing what I got to do to focus on my mission when I get older. And as I keep doing that, I know that me still being who I am off of social media, even on it, will never change. That's exactly why things are going to go my way in this life, and people are going to be frustrated with that. And same for you, because right now I have a video being posted for you all that's going to be on YouTube. Because the thing is, too, we're doing more than just influencing. That's the thing. We don't want to sit here and get the most expensive car and then make videos in it to where we're helping you get to that point to where that's the end goal. No, because the car that we have now is still appreciated. That's exactly why you keep on going to where you can have the things that you want by saving your money and not trying to be somebody outside of yourself or on a two-dimensional device or a black screen. You're literally on a black mirror thinking as if what you see through the mirroring matters. That's not what you are. You don't know what they did to get there. Stop trying to compare because you're losing yourself by even thinking as if you can compare what doesn't, or you can compare with what doesn't matter.
Literally got used to that lifestyle. Girl, when I tell you the second I had enough money to buy a property, I bought one. I could only tell so many story times and do so many get ready with me's before people fucking lose interest, okay? I have to be realistic about it.
Oh, my God.
See how most 21-year-olds are not thinking about that. More or less, a lot of these people ran through their money trying to look cool. That's it. And now they're begging for galaxies and cowboy hats.
A lot of them start doing those car giveaway scams too. You know, the raffles you pay whatever it is you want to pay, I think it is, or maybe it's like $10. A lot of them be like, hey, it's $10 to enter the raffle. A lot of people enter. Some people buy multiple tickets thinking they'll win a free car. Whole time, the car never gets given away, or is given away to somebody that they know. It's a scheme. They can pretty much on.
There's a lot of YouTubers who be doing that shit too. A lot of spiritual leaders who be doing that shit too. A lot of them will be faking as if they're in prison the whole entire time. They're playing a different character and taking money from people, and they're funding their spiritual channel. And or there's some people who claim to be spiritual and they're selling courses or they're talking about certain things behind closed doors, and it brings no value to this person's life to where they can learn something new to enhance their perspective on life, and they don't even care about all that stuff because they're playing spiritual to pretend as if they're conscious, but the whole entire time they're unconsciously taking from people because they think as if they know it all by doing more research than the average person. You're not slick and you're not as smart as you think you are.
The back end, set it up where they choose the winner on the website that the raffle is on. Right? You start seeing influencers do that when they go broke. A lot of them moving back in with their parents. A lot of them getting normal jobs again. It's some people that I used to watch. I'm like, man, bro fell off. Seeing him down bad when he had a wave. Had a good 10, 15 years of making good money, but didn't do nothing with it. Long story short, a lot of these influencers live beyond their means. A lot of them got a following, but they don't know how to translate their following into money. They just getting views. They don't know how to sell a product. They don't know how to sell a service. They don't know how to do anything other than post content that people watch, but nobody would actually buy anything from them. They're not actually real influencers influencing people to change their lives. They're luxury influencers, so they have to keep spending money in order for people to watch them. Got to keep taking trips, keep buying designer $2,000 shoes. The women, Birkins and designer bags and whatnot.
And bro, I love this shit, bro. I love these conversations, bro, because exactly, exactly. And then that's what's really interesting too. Not only just because when people think as if content creation is all that it is, you're never going to become successful as you think you are because social media will stop one day. And if it doesn't, then that's fine with a lot of us influencers or content creators, because why would you want to be an influencer? But if that was to stop, what would you be doing outside of that? You have to have, I would say, digital real estate with your image attached to it. People have to know you, but it's not just about knowing what you can do as far as content. As a person, if they were to meet you, would they want to buy from you? Would they want to even promote what you're selling? Because it's your character. But in order to do that, they have to be able to not only just think about you every single day, they have to want to buy from you just because it's you. But people don't realize too that comes with just more than energy. It comes with just knowing what you're doing in the moment and attracting. So it takes more than just making videos. It takes more than just going out and just wearing not only just your brand, but going out and selling yourself. Because the thing is too, that comes with a lot as well. And it comes with a lot of stress too, a lot of hard nights, sleepless nights. People not want to do that. That's why when you get the bag, do not spend on what you should not care about. Stop putting energy into clothes that don't belong to you. These things are meant to be in malls or on Amazon or different websites that are expensive because they're greedy. And people think as if these things matter because they have a certain price attached to it. And that's why they're basically throwing money away. And if they want to do that, that's fine. But eventually it'll catch up to them. You don't worry about them though. Worry about how much you make, how much you want to make, and how much you are making at the moment. And then realize how to save and how to spend on things that are intuitive. So, as far as the food that you need, not overdoing it, stop eating out all the time, stop spending it on things as far as games, stop spending it on websites as far as touching yourself to please yourself, stop doing that, paying for streaming platforms and all that. If you don't have the help to do all these things, then you're wasting money, especially on the subscriptions that you may have that you've forgotten about. Eliminate the source that's taking from you. And if you know that it can help you, you have to do away with it for a little while, then do that. And it's okay because if you don't even watch TV, but you keep it on, you're wasting electricity. If you don't really play the game like that and you have a game, why are you paying for the PS Plus or even Xbox as well? What are you doing that for? So every time you keep paying for these things, you're not really playing with the delusion. At this point, you might as well just cut the game off and go ahead and just make money from doing what you want to do. So that's why people have to realize that it's more than just money. It's really about your being in a moment. Because when you're being somebody consistently every single day where people want to watch you and are willing to say, you know what, I'm gonna give you my money. That's when you know you're doing something for a change because it's about how you making or how you are making people feel and you're keeping your morals intact and you don't forget what your purpose is spiritually.
just for people to like them, right? So, what are you influencing people to do? Be materialistic? That's about it.
I've got 25 million followers on social media, and you've probably never seen my face.
Nope.
I've always stayed behind my faceless pages, but now I am coming out to expose the industry, starting with number one, fake influencers. Along the way, I've met some of the biggest creators out there, and yeah, the big ones are absolute.
Hey, hold on.
Now I am coming out to expose the industry, starting with number one, fake influencers.
I remember the Proud family made a video on this, and it's really crazy too how when I first seen, I forgot this person's name, but I remember when I was young and I first seen it. This person looked like a vampire, but when I first seen him, I was like, is that a boy with makeup on? And I was just like, I brushed past it. But then as I got older and I was taught about not only just transhumanism and just female to male, male to female, just the female and male gait and the stance, the clavicle, the philtrum, all these different, the clav or the, no, or the clavicle, the Adam's apple, just the surgery, top surgery, hormone injection, learning about all these genetic experiments, I realized why they're able to get ahead because a lot of times they're satanic or put through satanic ritual abuse. A lot of times they are altered in the womb and they don't even know it, and their mom or dad don't even know it. And it's basically them being sacrificed to their bloodline because the ritual keeps on going so that somebody who's ahead of the family continues to get paid. They continue to milk off of the generations that are to come to maintain the family lineage. And it's crazy that a lot of times too, a lot of boys will grow up and they'll willingly just act like this to maintain the bag. So they're playing a character or they're playing like on these sitcoms like Martin Lawrence or Jamie Foxx, whoever else. A lot of these people, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, they're portraying a character, but that's where they are behind closed doors. So on the camera, it's nothing to do with because they've been doing it behind closed doors as well because they thought as if that was supposed to be their being. And that's exactly how in the meantime people will lose themselves in the process.
Along the way, I've met some of the biggest creators out there, and yeah, the big ones are absolutely crushing it. But honestly, there are so many influencers that I've met with barely any money and are completely fake online. So here are the top 5 reasons I think why. Number one, their content is way too general. Like if you're posting about everything, you're selling to no one. There's no common interest in your audience, so
Right.
there's nothing to sell, right? Number two, they cash out too early on BS sponsors. Like quick money is great, but they destroy their long-term credibility too early. Number three, they go viral without giving any value. The Hawk Tour girl is a perfect example. She went famous and mega viral, but no one actually cared what she has to say. Number four, they have no idea what they are doing. This is probably the biggest one. I've done brand deals with huge influencers before, And I was just so surprised how they got to where they are. I would give them the most basic instructions and they literally could not follow it to save their lives. Number five, they don't actually own their audience. It's all on rented land. TikTok, Instagram. There's no email list, no
Right.
direct access to their audience. Once a platform bans them, they're done. Anyway, I hope this is just another reminder to not believe anything you see on social media because 99% of it is complete BS.
That's true. He got a good point. A lot of the influencers don't own their traffic. They don't have an email list. They don't have a website, no funnel. They don't have anything. When the platform goes down, then they lose credibility. They lose their following. For instance, an influencer that's only big on Instagram, they lose that Instagram page. Now they're nobody, right? Nobody, or just a normal person again. What the word would say is a nobody, right? Also, they don't know how to sell anything. They're not marketable. They just went viral and had a viral moment off of embarrassing themselves low key. They say all publicity is good publicity, but if you get publicized for the wrong thing, then nobody will like you, will trust you, right? Let's say you go viral for being racist. Everybody know you from a racist video, but it's like, how can you monetize that? That's the
No, and that as well, that'd be the thing too. You can't sit there and focus on one thing. Like you're just a one-trick pony. So it's basically you say a funny joke that goes viral. There'll be many people out there who will sit on that joke for the entire time. It's just like you got to switch it up. It's like doing the fundamentals of even a sport. You can't sit there and do that same exact move when it's getting locked up. You got to switch it up. That means being honest with yourself, and that comes with accountability. And a lot of times too, when you're telling somebody through constructive criticism, they'll get upset with you. But it's like that's not my fault for telling you what I'm noticing. I want you to be great, but you can't get mad for the feedback. So when you're giving somebody feedback, it's like if they take it some kind of way, that's not your fault. Do you and do what you feel, but focus on you as well because you got to correct yourself also.
same thing with Boonk Gang. How could Boonk Gang monetize itself? He was just running off on people, stealing for real. That's not a brand that's long lasting, right? He tried to do that. That didn't work. So he transitioned to rapping, right? Now he's a Christian rapper. You see what I'm saying? Like there was no way he could monetize his audience. And that's a lot of these influencers. People are just watching them to laugh at them or because they look good. A lot of them just got followers because people think they look good. What
No, true, 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 because that'd be the thing right there too. Outside of looks, outside of how smart you are, outside of how much you research, outside of how much you know, outside of how much you play, can people can people think about you and say, I would dead ass pull up to his state and just want to talk to him? This is how I know, like when I was in London. I don't know if the supporter still watches, but a supporter watched my videos, and when I was in London, he was like, "Oh, you in London, bro? I don't know if you still watching, but if you do, shout out to you though. When I go back out there, hopefully we can meet up at that time or whatever time that you're available. But either way, him saying, "Yeah, hey, I'm in London as well. I'd love to see you, just have a conversation with you." Or even some people who are willing to take you out just because they see your videos and they're willing to come to your state and just talk to you. Maybe even buy something from you. And it's just like doing that, knowing that somebody out there may want to have the energy that you share with the world, that's the best feeling because you're just selling more than looks, you're selling more than words, you're selling more than lies. You're being honest with yourself because you enjoy doing it. And not only just that, you're not selling something every single day. You don't just sell something because you can. No, you sell it because you don't have to anymore. People want to buy from you because it's you. Look at how long you've been doing this. You're consistent with it. Because you're consistent with it, that means that you don't give up on yourself when it gets hard, when it gets tough. For example, if I was to quit on myself, I would have been did it a long time ago because I'm not getting the views I want. That's why views and likes, engagement, it matters, but you got to realize as well, you're going to have those days where you may not get the likes that you want. And if you give up on that, that's when you are a failure because you think as if validation matters. It does not fucking matter. What matters is, do you enjoy doing what you do, regardless of judgment? And if you accept judgment, then by all means, you're learning about yourself through somebody's perspective. So stop beating yourself up. It's just a current moment of what you're experiencing. This shit don't matter to your spirit. It only matters to your ego. Fix yourself. Leave your ego at the door when you're doing social media or any sport in general.
can you sell? You can't sell your looks unless you're doing it in a demeaning way. A lot of them got to turn to that too as the only option.
I just saw a video on here about a girl talking about the OG influencers that were making like 5, 6 figures a month and now they're broke and e-begging on TikTok. And as a wealth expansion coach who teaches you not only how to increase your income, but also how to hold that level of earnings, I want to talk about what's really going on here. This is not a new pattern. I have seen this time and time again. I've heard about it many times. It happens to people who come into money relatively quickly. So we see it with celebrities, pro athletes, influencers, people who win the lottery.
Yup.
Um, we have something called our financial set point, which essentially means the level of money that your nervous system and subconscious is comfortable having. Now, the thing about the brain is that it is wired for safety, not for comfort. So, in theory, you would think, oh, when I get $1 million, I'm going to feel more comfortable. But the truth is that if you don't feel comfortable with the amount of money that you have now, if you were to win the lottery and tomorrow you become a millionaire, you are not going to feel any different until you do the work to reprogram your subconscious and your nervous system.
I agree with that, but I don't disagree with that. I actually agree with that because it's basically if you can't be comfortable with what you have in your account right now, the moment you have it, you're just gonna fumble the bag because you want to spend instantly. That's your nervous system. That's not you. Because if you want to invest that, you just not only just got 1 million, but if you are doing something, so let's say you invest that, so like you hold on to it, you don't immediately spend on the crib, you don't buy dinner with this girl, that girl, whatever. You don't go buy materials. No, you hold on to it. You invest into your business. Now you have that business work for you. Money's working for you as you're laying down. You're going to bed at night. As you're journaling, being grateful. You're going outside, doing what you got to do. You exercise and taking care of yourself. All that energy will come right back to you. Now you're attracting it, magnetizing it. Once you do that, you push it out, and then that's when this energy will be able to say to itself, I want to be able to be in your light to where we're amplifying what you're holding on to as far as financially. So now because you're comfortable having more, is because if you didn't have it at all, you wouldn't be comfortable with where you are. And that's exactly why with where you are right now, it shows that money means nothing. But when you get it, nothing changes mentally because financially, you understand that it's the amount of energy that you can retain or hold on to. But that comes with the memory of what you're doing as far as abundance.
To feel safe holding that amount of money. And what happens when that work isn't done is can show up in a multitude of ways. But being wired for safety, the brain will try to bring you back down to the level that you are comfortable with because that's what feels familiar. So some of the ways that we see this show up with influencers is number one, aspirational spending. This is why we see them renting out these huge mansions and luxury sports cars and, they're spending 5, 6 figures a month just on these things alone, either to try and show up as somebody they're not because they think that that's going to give other people a different perspective of who they are and make them
Right.
feel more worthy and deserving of having nice things.
And honestly, a lot of your supporters do not care about what you buy. They honestly care that you started the videos that you kept making. There are some people out there who honestly want to listen to you because you make their day better. So realistically, when it's all said and done, nobody cares about how many cars you bought. Nobody cares about how many girls you had. Nobody cares about all the records that you made. Nobody cares about how many shoes you own. Nobody gives a fuck. People don't care if you wear the same tank top every day. People don't care if you wear the same slides every day. People just care if you're doing well. They want to see the same exact content that made them feel like their best self because when they watch you, their day gets better. Nobody gives a fuck about your mansions. Nobody really cares. They want to be able to see, like, damn, if that person can do it, so can I. Can you help somebody do that by giving them value for free? Because if you're doing it for free, you still are wealthy. Stop chasing riches. You will never become rich by doing that.
Or just to try and impress other people. This can also show up as trying to fill a void within themselves, right? So if they grew up around lack and scarcity and they were told, we can't afford that, we don't have the money for this, whatever, now it can be trying to prove themselves, oh, look, now I have the money, so I'm going to get myself whatever the hell I want. Okay, and that's another way that it shows up. Essentially, they just never do the work to reprogram their subconscious and their nervous system around the level of money that they now have. And that's why these programs are still running in the background because 95% of our life is being run on autopilot with the subconscious mind. So until they do the work on their mindset, subconscious, and nervous system regulation, we're going to continue to see these kinds of things happening. You have to regulate to the level of income that you want to be able to hold.
That's a good point that he had right there. So basically, you have to unlearn to relearn. You have to unlearn your old habits and way of thinking in order to develop new habits and new ways of thinking. You have to reprogram your subconscious mind, do some inner work, and also you have to dive deep into psychology, right? The way that the mind works and functions, as well as heal from past childhood traumas as well. So if you just
Hey, and the thing is too, I took a note in my class, in my lifespan development class, and we were talking about self-determination theory, autonomy, competence, relatedness, identity, regard, identity, centrality, yeah, identity, salience. Man, all these different things are just talking about how we think as if our worth is defined by the things that matter, and we're keeping up with the identity of others instead of ourselves. So it's like we're finding ourselves to what people find value in, but that's not valuable to our spirit. That never had an identity to begin with.
Get a substantial amount of money. That won't change who you are. It'll ultimately just catapult or expand who you were originally, right? So if you were an addict before, you had addict tendencies, let's say you were sports betting, but you would sports bet with $100. Now you're going to get that money and you might sports bet with 100,000. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people lose money gambling. Adrian Bronner, the boxer. That
I agree as well. Even doing Prize Picks, when I did Prize Picks, and it was a little experience like getting heavy on that and betting on certain players as far as the NBA. And it made the game worth watching, but I told myself, damn, I'm putting in money, and if it doesn't hit, then it's like I feel some kind of way about this person's stats not meeting my expectations or oversees it. I'm just like, fuck, I'm beating myself up, getting mad. Now I'm losing money. It's just like at some point, if I put in some more money, eventually, if none of those hit, there's no money for the rent, car insurance, health insurance, utilities, groceries. Now we down bad, we get evicted, and that's the end of the story right there. We got to find a place to stay. Nobody got time for that shit. You got to be able to manage your money properly to where now you don't have to worry about this price tag or what you're spending it on because it'll always come back to you because of how you're working on yourself.
was his fall off. A lot of boxers go broke due to gambling. Athletes too,
Hmm.
right? So we talked about athletes, influencers. We could talk about rappers. A lot of these different people going broke due to those reasons. They haven't tapped into their mental enough. So they still operate out of a lack of, for instance, you grew up struggling, never having anything or being told, no, you can't get that. So now when they get it, they just spend recklessly. Pretty much people want to seek validity out of material possessions a lot of the time.
And the thing is, when you come from a lifestyle that you're handed to, you can always go without having more. So what I mean is, if you come from, so speaking from experience, when you're coming from not having much to a time to where you're having whatever you want, you've seen both worlds to where you don't want more, but you don't want less. You're just fine with where you are because you can get whatever you want, but why? What's the point? Imagine you get everything that you ever desired, but yet you're still not satisfied. You're still unfulfilled. What the fuck was the point? You have everything now, everything that you wanted, and you're still not satisfied. That's how you know it never mattered because what matters is you're fine with where you are, but you're still wanting better for you because you're working on you and not just what's outside of you. Because what's outside of you is a fallacy that you play with as far as the mental games.
Either from others or validity within self because they lack confidence. So now through these material possessions, that gives them temporary gratification, just temporarily, but they will always want more because they have a void within.
The reality of being a content creator with over 200,000 followers is I'm broke. I go viral literally every single week. Every week. I got like over 8 million views this past month. I have like loyal fans, you know? But I'm just like, yo, I had $101 in my bank account yesterday. Last month, the Creator Fund paid me like $70.
But that's the thing. Like, how is that broke though? That's what's crazy to me. Stop thinking as if, and to an extent, yes, but realistically, no. Stop thinking like that. That's basically what she did. If you understand linguistic sorcery, she basically just said the reality of being a content creator is she's telling you that she's broke, but she wants your subconscious mind to say this. Like you're basically placing a spell on yourself. So we rebuke that because you're never broke. Because if you didn't have money, how would you know what broke is?
Because I make a lot of short form videos that aren't over 1 minute long. And I'm gonna keep saying this, like, people are not paying black creators. I have fucking verified companies and businesses commenting on my videos trying to be relatable and shit. And it's just like, you guys won't fucking pay me. Like, it gets to a point, I'm getting like really frustrated because this has been my career for a while. Like, I used to make a lot more money on social media, and I feel like as my platform grows bigger and bigger, people get this idea that like you must be doing very, very well, like even better than before. And I'm just like, dude, what? Anyway, if you want to literally send me money, because I'm just like, this is so dumb. A lot of these
Well, there you go, though. Begging. That's why people not see, how you gonna say that? You're gonna say that type of message, and then you're basically saying if you want to send me money. No, people should want to send you money just because they want to send you money. If you have to sit there and ask or beg, Who wants to hear that shit?
Influencers, a lot of these content creators are going broke. It's a lot of them saying, "Oh, I'm moving back home. I'm moving back to my home. I'm moving back. I'm moving back. I didn't know this place wasn't for me. This place is full of partying and bad influences. This, and that." Like, let's be honest, y'all just going broke. Y'all going broke. Like, let's just keep it a bean. Like, y'all going broke. Do not try to blame it on Houston or wherever you move to. Tell my, oh, this a party town. Da da da. Every place parties. Atlanta's parties, motherfucking hard. And I've been here all my life. Everybody go out every weekend, drink, go have a good motherfucking time. Do I? No, because I got shit in real life going on that I need to be focusing on more than fucking partying, school, businesses, everything else than fucking partying every fucking weekend and using my money to do that. It's just the people y'all hang around. That's why y'all was so caught up in all the partying and all that shit. Don't be trying to blame it on the state and the city that you was moving to and lived in. No, it's because
Bro,
y'all was trying to keep up with an image, keep up with the
because
image.
that'd be crazy as hell, like being outside of Atlanta and stuff like that, and being able to be around parties and pool parties, mansion parties, strip clubs, just clubs in general, hookah lounges right next door to you. That stuff does not satisfy you when it's right next door to you. Like when, like for the city of Atlanta, when it's giving you things like, and you've been to them when you were in middle school, high school, as you get older, like you have already experienced that. So the adults who are constantly doing that, they haven't been able to live in that realm just yet. But when you've seen that, it does nothing for you. Not only just that, it's like you're going into the pits of hell anyway. Because all you see is just unconscious beings who are hypnotized or sleepwalking with their eyes wide open, dancing to the same exact songs that are on their Black Mirror. And so if you can just play the same exact songs on your phone, why even go to the club to hear it out loud? You want to keep up with somebody, you want to become somebody, you want to look like somebody, and that'd be the thing right there, the whole disconnect.
Like, oh, y'all just got all this money, y'all got all this, and y'all can just keep up and do what y'all want to do with the money that y'all make from social media, and that's not how it is. It's the people that y'all was hanging around. It's the influence that y'all was around. First of all, streaming university was y'all perform and go meet 10 to 13-year-olds. Like, what type of shit is that? Like, why is grown ass motherfuckers performing and meeting 13 and 10 and 12 and 11-year-olds? Like, I'm so confused by that. Y'all should have known right then and there, like, you can't make no living off this shit. Not by no little ass kids. No, you can't. Y'all talking about, oh, I gotta be back with my family. I gotta be back with friends and people that love me. No, you gotta
And then
go.
what I noticed too, this is why we gotta protect the youth because a lot of these influencers, they're attacking the youth because they want the youth to ask their parents to give money to this influencer because the influencer says so and because they idolize them. That's why people are selling their morals to become famous because they want their children's energy. There's literally energy harvesting right in front of our face. So when you see people who are all not just authentically helping the younger generation, but being able to just do what you want to do, control your way of experiencing your emotions and just how people will shame you and judge you. But when your name is making noise, when people really watch what you're doing and see what you're doing and they want to follow it, that's when the respect comes. That's when people start hearing you out more. And that's when they start understanding how to walk that same exact path that you've been doing the entire time, but they overlooked it because it was you.
Back so you can figure out what the fuck you want to do with your life.
That's true though, as far as she's saying like the streamer
And my thing is too, if you only just want to make content for kids, that's really weird to me. So I feel nothing wrong with that, but I feel like honestly to me, I want to help an adult who's older than me just bring value. And the thing is, we only got to talk about money. That's the greatest part, even though we're back to getting this and it feels great, but that's not the main focus on every video, no. Because still being able to not have that and knowing that you're still going to be good because that's not all you're focused on, you can help an adult understand, hey, you can do your own hobbies. You can be crochet, it can be cooking, it can be fixing cars just for a living, it can be making shoelaces, it can be making shoes, it can be designing water, whatever. But even working at Best Buy, you having things that you want to do because you're saving up, that'll get you to doing what you want to do as far as streaming if you want to do that, or even carpentry, or even doing yard work, or even building houses or roofs. You doing that is the reason why you're going to always remain on top in your life. You're not comparing to anybody else's but yours.
University, I seen it. I don't know much about it, but like she said, a lot of these top influencers got little kid fan bases. And if you know anything about YouTube, the CPM and RPM on younger audiences is less than if you have an older audience. For instance, my channel, my audience is 35 plus. 35 to 65 is my audience. So with that being said, I actually make more than a lot of y'all's favorite influencers. I ain't gonna say y'all's because y'all watching me. I might be your favorite channel. But a lot of these top influencers, my CPM, what I make per thousand views is actually higher than a lot of these people, getting more views than me. So it look good, right? They look more famous. They might have a more of a fan base, more people watching them, but they have to get more views to equate to the same amount of money that somebody with an older audience can make off of less views. You see what I'm saying? But that's the thing. If you got a kid audience, you really can't monetize that other than through monetization. You can't really sell to them. That goes back to their audience is only on the platforms. They can't sell anything to them. They can't build a community around that young audience. That's why they have to start streaming. They're just getting paid for being watched only. You can't lead them into a community,
Hmm.
build with them, create digital products for them to buy or courses, whatever it is you want to do. If you're someone that's spreading value or teaching, you know what I mean? A lot of them not teaching anything. They're just
Exactly. That's the thing right there. No, I agree with that. Just because so when you really see what like when I notice what these spiritual teachers are doing, I ask myself, damn, now that I've been researching so fast for so long, every day just being in my thoughts, because a lot of this stuff you don't even have to open up a book. It's just common sense at this point. So when you really question and contradict everything, and you ask yourself why some people are where they are, you really do, even with the less subscribers that you have, you are making money than most of these famous influencers because it's the fact that you're bringing value to the older crowd. Like I already just mentioned that. Because why would you want to target strictly just the children when they're getting their money from their parents, or they may not even ask their parents because they may have been taught about people who are scamming on the internet. So if you have to keep constantly begging for money, like for example, Dr. Umar and Charleston White or all these celebrities, that's all they're doing. They're just scamming you because they don't have any money, but you think as if they do because they're keeping up with what you thought mattered, what you thought was important. These things do not matter to your spirit, but you're making them, you're materializing them because that's where you secretly want to be. No, stop comparing to them because that's not even them.
entertainers.
Social media is not forever. Content creator is not forever, and content creation is not for everybody. Like you could be on for a certain amount of years, then you can fall off. King, for example. But anywho, yeah, like social media is not always guaranteed money. Like use that money as leverage to go start a business. Use that money as leverage to go start a career. Go to school. Go get you a trade. Go do something that you can always fall back on that AI can never take over. You get what I'm saying? Like go do something that'll benefit you in the long run. Social media is never guaranteed. Y'all see how quick they be trying to take TikTok? Like, go do something else. Use that money.
Thank you, like, bruh. Prime example. Because look, we still got this warning for that Justin Bieber video. And shout out to the people as well. I'm about to, once I see that draft, I'm gonna delete that. Look at this. We still got a warning. Shout out to the people as well that are watching. We're going back to the views. And the thing is, so we were getting a lot of views. Like, I remember my old accounts, like it was that's crazy. But every time we just speak, like the numbers make sense, but they had to but see that first warning. You gotta realize once you I've been banned for so long and so many times. It's like it is what it is. That's exactly why do get you a Patreon. Get you a clothing line if you choose to. Make a book if you desire to do that. Have a part-time job. Have a full-time job for a temporary period of time, but save the money. Really, really write down, take a note of what you think you should want to consume as far as nutritional and think about how many calories you're going to have or intake and how much you'll be able to hold on to whenever you are spending on, let's say, groceries, or how much will you have for your car, or if you do take the bus or whatever, how much will you have as far as your entertainment when you go home or whatever? How much will you have for the lights? How much will you have for the water or heat? How much we have for all these, or gas as well for your car? How much we have for these things? And so when you're able to see how much you have and you're able to put that into a second account, or whatever the case, and then you're holding on to what you can spend that will take care of you, then you should have some left over, but you don't spend too much. That'd be the thing right there. You have some things to play with, but no, when you get paid again, then you stack that, put it back to the side. Same thing, stack that, put it to the side. Then eventually, then when you hold on to your energy, you're not out here wasting it on women or men. When you do that and you're bringing it to your mind because you're telling yourself every single day, I will get to that spot. I will get to this place. I will do what I got to do. And you're writing it down, you're reading it, you're rehearsing it in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking about it, you're saying it before you go to sleep. Then when you wake up, it's the same exact action. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Then as you keep stacking, put it to the side. When you look, you got 50K, 500K saved up, and you just like, damn, that was fast. Because you're making money work for you, because you're at this point, you didn't lose yourself in the process. You still stayed true to who you were, and you're simply going to work and you're not complaining. Like, and it's true, social media is not promised. Stop expecting to think as if the machine will get you what you want. If you're not willing to sell your morals or get bug broken, if you're not willing to sacrifice anybody or get humiliated, you will not get to the top. And that's just how it is. It's a dirty game, but so what? You can be a small creator and still get paid. And we are the definition of that. So something must be working. So the people who are ignoring us, that is fine. The ones who are listening, they can do the same exact shit because you're doing you, because you know what you're talking about. And that comes with years of just not only researching internally, but also reading, doing the work, giving back to the community. And not only just that, giving praise to the almighty creation because you can't do anything without this being. And when you know that being, it'll give you all the information that you want. And realistically, anything you ask, you'll get because the being knows that you give yourself to this being only and not the world. That's exactly why the ones who align themselves with the path and they focus on this one-way street while the world is screaming at them, they are the ones that will get all the benefits because look at what they're affected by because of what they're causing in the life around them.
That you're making from influencer city or social media, YouTube, whatever the case may be, go use that money to go leverage up to the next big thing. Yeah, go back home, go restart. It's okay to restart. It's okay to just say, yeah, I'm going broke. I can't keep up with this life. It's time for me to make some change, make a difference. Like, go say that. Don't try to say, oh yeah, I'm just going back home. I want to be around friends. No, like y'all growing up to make all these motherfucking decisions. Y'all try to go venture out and go spend all this money and be in the influencer world. Keep up with social media. Keep up with Instagram. Try to keep up this image like y'all having big bags and y'all can just go do what y'all want to do. And that's never the case.
That's true. A lot of them don't have any skills other than entertaining, which is a skill. That's good. You have to be entertaining. But I'm saying they have no high value skills. Like they don't know how to invest. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to run Facebook ads, TikTok ads, that type of marketing. Because you know, if you know how to market, then you never go broke. They really don't have no skills that they could actually take and offer to the world. You see what I'm saying? They have no offer. That's the problem with most of them too. So when they start to lose views, then it's over for them. And some of them just caught a trend. They just caught onto a trend. A lot of these influencers blew up off of pranks, right? So it was just a trend of people doing pranks.
Or the get ready with me's clothing hauls, the boyfriend girlfriend content, you know, excuse me, the challenges, excuse me, by the way, and 20v1s, public interviews, excuse me, reactions. A lot of times when those things stop, eventually, people in the future, I'm going to predict it as well. I know I'm going to be right. In the future, people are generally going to want to transition to people that have boring lifestyles, the ones who are genuinely being honest, not only in person, but on the camera. And they'll be able to tell because the vibration of society will increase. And people are going to know that the ones that you've been scamming mentally and psychologically, they'll be able to pick up on game. And because of influencers like us who speak consciously and we're not afraid to be honest with our just a whole entire life, these people will know that, you know what, because I watched this influencer who taught me the game of not only just life in general, but everybody else. Now that I can see clearly, this influencer I used to look up to, whatever, now I'm going to unsubscribe to you because I see how you got to where you are. I see why you're famous. I see why you are rich. I see why you have this and that. And not only I know what it is, I learned what you did to get it. I don't want to fuck with you. And you're basically causing my spirit to be in damnation. Once people start doing that, the ones who thought they were on top, who had this image, they'll be knocked down to where now the people who are supposed to authentically always have been the attention getters who never seek attention, they will always be winning because people are now focused on them because damn, it took me this amount of years to know that the whole entire time nobody cared about them and they still are posting videos. They've been getting this amount of views for so many years and yet they never gave up. I want to see who they are being. Now when their light changes and people are seeing the exact same trend that they're creating, they want to copy that. That's how this shit goes. It's human behavior, human nature.
Mukbangs, things like that. Now that that's over, a lot of them don't know what to do, right? The next trend is moving to Thailand. A lot of them moving to Thailand.
And if you know about them lady boys, them female to males, and male to females, a lot of them like Bantu cut. What you going out there for? When you know that these transformers are out there running prominent, running imminent, and if you just say, "I want to go out and travel," I don't know anybody who's willingly going to Thailand to travel. That to me is just that's weird activity. I wouldn't even want to go there. I don't even care if I go to every country, every continent, every island, every state in this dimension. I do not want to go to Thailand or anywhere else that does not matter.
to catch the Thailand
You
views.
have no point being there. You have no purpose going there at all whatsoever besides something. And that shit's weird.
Then when that die down, then what are they gonna do? So they really just jump from trend to trend until pretty much they no longer are relevant most of the times. But yeah, a lot of them are moving back home. A lot of them have to go back to normal 9 to 5s. A lot of them, their run is over. It's pretty much over. I mean, they had their time. They should have learned how to invest. They should have learned about finances, and they would be okay. They could have took all of that money and put it into stocks, learned about options, learned about forex trading or futures trading, or learned about crypto. They could have, put it into a low cap cryptocurrency and been up, right? There's many things they could have done in the financial space, but they didn't learn about finances. A lot of them don't know anything about finances. They have no financial literacy because it's not taught in school. It's not taught. But yeah, drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this video, family. Influencers are going broke. I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace to my Hebrew family. Shalom.
Honestly, guys, this is a great video. And that's exactly why a lot of them are going back to normal jobs and nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. But if you think as if you want to equal up to somebody just because you see them doing something and it worked for them, you don't know why it worked for them, and you don't know how it was done. So just stay in your lane and really know why you're doing what you're doing and how long it takes. Because it will not happen overnight. For some people, yes, a lot of people do end up becoming very fortunate to where they can do something one time and their life changes. But a lot of times you can see when somebody's about to fall off because look at just who they are now. Look at where they came from. Look at where they are now. They couldn't keep up with that vibration. It was too much for them. They weren't staying on the course or just being present with what they should let go of. This life is temporary. All these things that people care about do not matter. The views and the likes are just a product of numbering systems or just opinions that are virtually engaging. But internally, if you didn't have these things, if you didn't have any validation, and all you could do was create, would you still be doing it? That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of you influencers who are more famous than me, who have more virtual currency than me, you're not a great influencer. You're not a great content creator because you cannot create for a long period of time without doing things for money. A lot of you talk about the same exact thing every single day. That's why a lot of these pranks and all that rapping and music, all these people fall off. If they're not selling their morals, they're going to fall off because nobody wants to keep watching that shit. It's just like, how can you not only teach somebody about who you are, because people want to know too, who are they watching? Like people have so many questions about just what they're doing. Like for somebody to watch you constantly, they have to know who you are. Not only just that, you gotta not only just tell some things about yourself, but be honest about what you experience. Like people want to know what you go through because if somebody relates to that or experiences that, they'll be like, damn, we're living the same exact life and I look up to you. That's crazy. It's just like you didn't even mean to. You're just talking about what you went through, and people love that. People love that you don't shy away from the moment outside of the virtual world to where you come onto the internet, you just say, hey, and you're not willingly telling people, you're just saying, so I experienced this. I won't say too much, but I experienced this, and here's how you can work through this. That to me is bringing value. That's why I do that shit. I bring value to you. And the thing is, we talk about everything from all spiritual topics, esoteric topics, science, occultism, math, or just numbers, language, like everything around the board, around the spectrum. Not only just that, we can talk about the money, we can talk about entertainment, we can talk about whatever, because it's just more than all these different things. It's about you. And these influencers can never do that. They can only entertain you for a temporary period of time. But after a while, when people stop wanting to watch that content, when that fan base grows up, they're going to look and be like, why did I watch this stupid ass shit? You still making these types of videos? Damn, move on from that. And then you're faking a lifestyle, and people secretly are telling people, hey, I see this influencer doing that. They're not being who they are. And then you shame them for telling the truth. No, don't hide from what you are pretending to be on the internet. No, be real with yourself. That's exactly why people don't fuck with a lot of y'all because y'all were never authentically being a content creator. All you were doing was influencing people to remain broke. That's all these content creators who have more followers than us do. They are telling you how to stay broke so you can give them the money that you make your hard working living off of. That's all they care about. Put your attention span towards their boredom. And when you do that every day, that's how they pay their rent off of what you're hypnotized by. Have a great and divine day, Divine Reflection.